Okay, so here's a shocker. Just Cause 3 will be 42.49 gigabytes. And how is this even surprising? So, a lot of people are obviously, well, I don't even think obviously, but a lot of people are probably wondering, well, why the heck are games becoming so freaking huge on freaking consoles now? I thought that was a PC thing. Why are we now having to install games that are up to 80 gigabytes? And believe it or not, when you if any of you have played Halo: The Master Chief Collection, you will have noticed if you looked in the back of that case, it said you need at least 80 gigabytes of free space in order to install Halo: The Master Chief Collection. That's a lot of memory for one game. Okay, that's a hunk of memory out of the Xbox One hard drive. And it it really just kind of gets me thinking, why didn't they go with 1 terabyte hard drives to begin with? Okay, games are becoming bigger now. And one of the things that I keep hearing, and the reason why I think some of these games are getting bigger is because of, what I actually heard here, is that when a game is not compressed, it takes less stress off the CPU. And if that is true, then maybe they're not, compressing these games because they know if they do, or if they compress them too much, the Xbox One might actually chug, or the frame rate might not be as stable if the game comes out compressed. And that could be part of the problem why some games actually launch so crappy is because it's so overly compressed that the CPU has to work so freaking hard in order to actually run the game. But, I don't think that's the entire problem, okay? Like, there are freaking tons of freaking games that are like 50 to 80 gigabytes, and you literally, some of them still run like shit. So, the deal. Oh, sorry again. That happened in the last video. The deal with games running like crap on PC really isn't explainable, other than the developers not giving a crap about the PC port. But I can probably believe the compression thing with the consoles because not having such a compressed game improves performance. Now it might not improve performance that much. It might ease up on maybe some of the loading times and whatnot, and make loading a bit faster, and maybe give you 1 or 2 frames, but I don't see how exactly it could impact the frame rate, but I can see maybe it impacting the overall load times for the game. So maybe they're trying to accommodate the hard drives for the PS4 and the Xbox One, because believe it or not, the hard drives on the PS4 and the Xbox One aren't that great. To be honest with you, they're watered down PCs. We've established this as soon as both consoles were released. They have hardware that is, not as powerful as gaming PCs nowadays. I mean, if the Xbox One and PS4 were as powerful as gaming PCs, heck, we probably wouldn't be having all these, resolution gate crap and all this ridiculous. 1080p 60 frames per second. We wouldn't be having any of that. But, the Xbox One and PS4 came out, and they probably chose the hardware for these consoles because they didn't want to make $900 to $1,000 consoles. Okay, the PS3 was $900 out of the gate, and the sales for that were low, very low. So any hopes of anyone buying an expensive as hell console like that, even and considering the economy, I don't think that's a possibility. But maybe, just maybe, the whole uncompressed game thing is to, keep the games from chugging in certain areas and perhaps, make load times less, ridiculous. But that's all I can see it doing. Maybe more so the load time thing than the performance. I don't think it's going to affect performance. it really doesn't matter how slow or fast your hard drive is, because as soon as your hard drive gets all that stuff, gets the game's assets loaded up, it really doesn't affect your frame rate. Yeah, load times might be longer, but and overall, after your hard drive gets everything loaded, what ends up happening is the processor and the GPU and RAM memory take over, as the hard drive is only responsible for keeping the data and loading the data when it is needed. So aside from that, I don't see the compression or decompression really improving performance, but maybe load times. Maybe load times. And in terms of the file size and the game sizes now, even if the size of this game really isn't meant to improve, the performance or to accommodate the slow hard drive, games are getting bigger. Maybe this game is compressed and they could only compress so much before it just became ridiculous. And maybe it is compressed and it's still in the freaking 40s, okay? Still in the 40s. If it's compressed, then yeah, games are getting bigger. And even if it was compressed, engines are becoming more demanding. Engines require more data now. The freaking more assets are becoming more memory hogging. Things are becoming more demanding for hardware now, and games are getting bigger. So as games get bigger, the more hard drive space we need. But the Xbox One and PS4, the majority of the Xbox One and PS4 owners are indeed with a 500 gigabyte hard drive in their system. Now, with the PS4, you're able to remove the hard drive and put in something completely different. But with the Xbox One, you can't do that. You cannot open your Xbox One up. You cannot add a new hard drive in there. I heard you could. You could open it up. It'll be a bit more difficult than it is with the PS4, but you could. But it would void your warranty. I'm not sure if it'll void just the Xbox warranty and or the warranty that you happen to have gotten with your wherever you bought it from, like Best Buy or Walmart. I personally would have just said, just put freaking 1 terabyte, hard drive right out of the freaking gate, okay? You know, terabyte hard drives aren't that expensive. But Xbox and Sony want you to think they are, and they just go ahead and raise the price up of the terabyte hard drive version. Yay! It really sucks, and I really don't feel like going out and buying another Xbox One. I really don't. It sucks. It really does, but it's reality. Okay, it happened. Who gives a crap? I realize that I bought a 500 gigabyte version, but I'm happy with the Xbox One. It's not a bad system. A lot of people say it's a bad system. I personally don't think it's a bad system. I know a lot of people complain about maybe the netcode in some games and whatnot, and that I don't know whether or not is true, but if it is an issue, then I don't think it's really Xbox. I think it's probably the developers that are, kind of shit in the bed in terms of the port. But whatever version you want, whatever console you own, or if you own all the consoles, then you are probably the most sensible person ever, because you are more than likely not a fanboy, and you aren't exactly, sociopathic like some of these other fanboys are. But if you own just a single console like me, it doesn't mean that you're a sociopathic fanboy. It just means that you probably don't have the money to buy 2 other consoles. Okay, the freaking PS4 is about like $400 now. I think it's been dropped to $350, which is about the price of the Xbox One. And the Wii U, I actually don't know the price of. I think it's like $250, which is really inexpensive compared to the Xbox One and PS4. But it can't play AAA games because there is no AAA games on it. But anyway, what I'm trying to say here is games are going to keep getting bigger. Some of them I predict, okay, By the end of the Xbox One and PS4's life cycle, games are going to be all the way up to 100 gigabytes. 100 gigabytes. That's a lot of memory. And I am making that prediction. Games are going to be all the way up to 100 gigabytes or close to it. And it's just going to show that, yes, games are becoming more demanding. They require more memory. Engines are becoming more expensive. And more development crew will have to be acquired in order to work and to create games with these engines, because believe it or not, these engines do look nice. Okay, freaking Just Cause 3, I am making this assumption, and it's probably a very, very accurate one. It will look amazing. Okay, it will look amazing. I mean, did anyone play Just Cause 2? Just Cause 2 was huge, okay? And Just Cause 3, I can probably see it being even bigger, okay? All right, probably GTA 5 levels of freaking huge. So expect a game like this to be big, especially with the freaking size of it. And even games like Wolfenstein and New Order, which I know aren't that huge, but even then, they're going to get bigger. Engines are becoming more demanding, and I've said this about 1,000 times in this video, but they are. And it's something that we really can't avoid. The only thing that we can do is play catch up with, buying new hardware and making sure that we're up to date so we can actually handle this stuff. Because, software moves much faster than, hardware. Okay? Software will take 4 steps forward, and hardware will probably just take 2 steps forward. And hard software has always been ahead of hardware. That's something that I think a lot of people should realize, and it's a realization that I think not a lot of fanboys realize. But let's just hope they do, and they're just being fanboy trolls for whatever. I honestly don't know why some fanboys are so trolly and so assholish, but I can't just I can't I just cannot get words out of and that will describe these fanboys. I can't describe them. But yeah, games are getting more demanding. See you guys later.